Are you still wondering what went wrong in your last interview? Well, then you're at the right place. Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel Core Classroom Learning. And today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is common interview mistakes and how you could possibly avoid them. 90% of candidates lose the job, not because they lack skills, but because of these small interview mistakes. Have you ever given an interview where you thought you nailed it? Everything was just perfect, but probably in the HR round, you couldn't make it through? Did you wonder what could have possibly gone wrong, but you just cannot narrow one thing down? Well, then this is the right video for you. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be covering a couple of mistakes that are very common and which you might be making unintentionally, but it's going to end up taking your dream job away from you. So better stay hooked. Number one, well, the most common mistake is being repetitive. Repeating the same skills, same examples over and over again. Example, I am hardworking in every single answer. Yes, I get it, you're hardworking, but you don't have to keep on repeating it. What you could do instead is use different examples for different questions. You could add numbers or you could add some outcomes. Number two, not using numbers or having vague answers. For example, I improved performance. What you could rather say is improved efficiency by 18% through reducing downtime by 2 hours per week. I've also mentioned about it in the last video, and I'm going to tell you again that number equals to credibility. Always include numbers during your talk. Point number three, poor structure in tell me about yourself. In the last video on how to crack an interview, I've mentioned about how you could possibly answer the question, tell me about yourself. But I still see a lot of candidates giving me a random storytelling which has no relevance to the interview or to their resume. Instead, it would be ideal for you to talk about your education, your internship, project, skills, current role, and why this role. Structured answers sound confident, and structure is exactly what the interviewer is looking for. Another very important point would be talking too much. 5-minute answers for simple questions, nobody has that sort of time. You have to be quick, you have to be structured, you have to have proper reasoning, and you need to be confident. Use the 60 to 90-second rule. Be clear, be sharp, stop talking once the point is delivered. Nobody wants long stories. Point number five, not researching the company. Mistake would be, I just need a job. No, nobody wants to hire somebody who needs a job. People want to get somebody who are in the job, who are in the field, and who are basically the catch. You need to sound like a catch. Do not sound desperate in your job interview. Always answer or always know the answer for why this company, why this role, and how do your skills match. You need to show some seriousness. You need to show some intent. Otherwise, there are a lot of fish in the sea. Another very important point where I see a lot of kids making this mistake, having a weak body language. You might have the technical skills, you might have the analytical skills, but if your body language is not up to the mark, it's definitely a turn off. When I say weak body language, I mean no eye contact, having low energy, slouching, and using a monotone voice. Try to modulate your voice with every answer. Confidence is visible before it is heard. It doesn't matter if it's an online interview or if it's a face to face interview. You need to show confidence, even if you do not know the answer. Point number seven, and a very important point, having memorized robotic answers. Trust me, interviewers can tell they're pretty smart. Instead, understand the key points, speak naturally, and use real life experiences, or even make up some experiences. It's okay, but it needs to sound natural, it needs to come out of you. It should sound like it's flowing. Do not answer robotically, do not buy hard the answers, because that definitely is a turn off. Point number eight, and a very important point, ignoring behavioral questions. Many candidates focus only on technical, fair enough, but it is very important for you to know that you cannot skip behavioral questions. You need to use the STAR method: the situation, task, action, and result. If you don't know what the STAR method is, I would suggest you to watch part 1 of How to Crack an Interview video that I uploaded. Using the STAR method would show maturity and clarity. It shows that you're serious about this job and you're ready to give what it takes for this job. Point number 9, and a very common mistake that I see a lot of you making it: negative talk about previous employer. Please know that this is a big red flag. You need to stay professional even if the experience was bad. I get it, you're changing because of toxic work environment, toxic manager, the timings are too harsh, you cannot commute for that, they don't offer work from home, you want hybrid work, whatever the reason. You cannot talk negative about previous employer. This is a major put off for the interviewer. Do not talk any negatives about the job, the company, the manager, the role. Of course, stating a reason like, I'm not happy with my salary, I'm looking for a switch because I obviously want growth, but you need to know or you need to show that salary is not your only motivation to work, because that's going to put them to the thought that if you're switching today for salary, you're going to leave them again for salary. And they don't want a candidate who keeps on jumping around. So your first reason should be work. You want to change and you're looking for different kind of domain, even though you love the current work and your current organization. Make sure there's no negatives in your sentence. Another and final important point: not asking questions at the end. Usually the interviewer ends the interview by stating or by asking, do you have any questions? Never say no. You can ask anything, just anything. It doesn't have to be technical or reasoning or logical or analytical. It could be anything. So if I get selected, how fast do you think I can join? What does success look like in this role? Or what challenges will I handle first? Show curiosity. You need to be curious because that again shows intent, that shows seriousness, that you're here to win this game. Guys, always remember, skills get you shortlisted, but presentation gets you hired. Fix these mistakes and you'll already be ahead of 80% of candidates. Your dream job is not about luck, it's about preparation. Correct these small mistakes and you change the big results. If you found this helpful, comment ready below and I'll share a mock interview video next. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for weekly career growth content.